Hey guys, Tiara here with DOCGIRLFITNESS, and today's video is all about how I got into medical school on the first try. So for those of you that are about to apply for medical school and those who are interested but wish that you knew a little bit more of the steps that were involved, then make sure to keep watching this video. This goes for high school students and college students. And if you're in medical school or if you're a practicing physician, then make sure to leave your tips in the comments as well. So I've broken this video down into the things that are essential whenever you're applying versus those that are icing on the cake, the things that just make you look unique to different medical schools across the country. These essentials are not only essential to getting into medical school, but specifically for getting into medical school on the first try. It's tough, but if I can do it, you can do it too, and I believe in you. So let's get to it. First would be studies and grades. So when I first got to college, my number one mission was to make sure that I had a higher GPA than the one I had in high school. My high school GPA was not bad by any means, but I just knew that getting into medical school would be difficult and that I wanted to put my best foot forward starting on day one of college. I did this by really paying attention in my classes. I would stay late afterwards and ask the professors different questions. I would always go to the tutoring hours that my different courses had, and I just really tried to stay on top of my schoolwork. I also made schoolwork a priority by choosing to not get involved in any extracurricular activities my first year of undergrad. Now, I know that this can be considered to be kind of radical, but for me, it was very strategic. I knew that I wanted to get involved later on in college, but college is 4 years, and I wanted that first year to get acclimated to my studies. It's something that you may want to consider doing as well if you need a little bit more time to get acclimated to starting college and what college is all about. This strategy really worked for me, and by the time that I applied for medical school, my GPA was right where I wanted it to be. Next is the MCAT. When it came to the MCAT, I knew that I wanted a really good score and that I needed a good score to get into whichever medical school I wanted to. I decided to prep for it by taking a summer course that was taught by a medical student who was at the medical school that I desired to go to. He talked to us about different tips and tricks on test day, but in addition to that, really pointed out the key concepts that we needed to focus on for test day. After this 4-week course, I took the exam and it didn't go as well as I wanted it to. So I decided to recollect myself, and take it again at the end of September. So the first time I took it was in mid-July, and then I took it again in mid-September. When I took that test again, I increased my score by 7 points, and the interviews started piling in. So make sure that you work really hard to get a good MCAT score. Medical schools are looking for students who can achieve board scores while in medical school that help maintain a medical school's accreditation. Whenever you're in medical school, you start taking your board exams as a part of the USMLE board certification. You take 2 of the 3 parts of your boards, which are called STEP exams, while you're in medical school. You take Step 1 typically at the end of your second year, and then you take Step 2, CS and CK, or clinical skills and clinical knowledge, at the end of your 3rd year and the beginning of your 4th year. For those exams, it's almost critical that you pass them on the first attempt or the second attempt. And for some medical schools, including my own, after 3 failed attempts, you are recommended for expulsion. So whenever you think about it that way, it kind of makes sense as to why medical schools find it very important for you to achieve a score that's within their average MCAT score range within 1 to 3 attempts. This is not an end-all be-all rule, but if you really want to enhance your chances of getting in on your first try, then you really want to try and make a good MCAT score within that 1 to 3 attempt range. Courses are helpful, but as I said, I tried a course and it didn't work out for me the first time around, and then I studied on my own. Make sure that you study for the MCAT exam in the way that best suits your learning style. Although courses can be helpful, don't feel like you have to spend thousands of dollars on a course to ensure an MCAT score that is desirable for you. Like I said, I did a course and it didn't really work out for me, but the second time around when I studied on my own, it worked out just fine. So just make sure to do what works best for you. Letters of recommendation are very important on your medical school application. They are truly a way for medical school application reviewers to get a personalized view of you from other people's perspective. You can always put your best foot forward in your application personal statement, but it speaks volumes whenever other people can vouch for you in the same way that you would vouch for yourself. I had letters of recommendation from not only the different places that I volunteered at, but also from professors in my major, as well as from the Pre-Medical Advisory Committee. This is a specific committee that was provided to students on the pre-med track at my undergraduate institution that was made up of a panel of different professors who taught courses that are along the pre-med track. They require you to sit down for an interview with them, in which it's a mock medical school interview. And then they also evaluate the interviews of the other applicants from that undergraduate institution. And at my undergraduate institution, they would rank us amongst each other, and then our rank would be included in the letter that came from the Pre-Medical Advisory Committee. I know that this sounds kind of stressful because it adds a certain level of competition amongst you and your peers that are applying, but don't let it become competitive. Don't let it become something that discourages you. Just make sure to be yourself. Practice on your interview skills because it's going to help you whenever you're going through the medical school interview trail. And just, once again, be yourself. Don't worry about anybody else because this is a race between you and yourself alone. Don't compare yourself to others and just put your best foot forward if that's the way that your undergraduate institution decides to create your letter of recommendation. If this is the way that your undergraduate institution creates a pre-medical advisory committee letter, another way to put your best foot forward is to get to know your professors ahead of time. If you know ahead of time who is on your pre-medical advisory committee and you do not know that person personally, or you have never taken one of their classes before, take a moment out of your day to reach out to them, send them an email, or maybe even take one of their courses and see if that's a course that you may like, with the added benefit of being able to know them on a more personal level as a student. That way, on the day that you have your interview with them, they know you outside of that 3-minute interaction on interview day. So those are the 3 things that are really essential to getting into medical school on your first try. There are many other things that are required for the application, but those 3 things specifically are what helped me get in on the first try. And that's about it. If you like videos like this and you want me to expand on any of the topics that I talked about today, let me know below in the comments and I'll make a video about it. In the meantime, if you have any questions or general thoughts, leave them below and I'll try to reply as soon as possible. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos on medicine, fitness, and lifestyle, then make sure to subscribe. I'll see you next time.